Sometimes, teenagers are capable of much more violence than even the most hardened grown criminals. It's a well-known fact that crime and punishment are two sides of the same coin, and when it comes to young people committing serious offenses, the consequences could be especially severe. Today, we will be watching teenagers reacting to their prison sentences. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, please like the video. This is Brandon Spencer in the Los Angeles County Superior Court. He was charged with 4 counts of attempted murder. When he was 19 years old, he opened fire into a crowd of people during a Halloween party held on the University of Southern California campus in 2012. Fortunately, nobody lost their life. However, his actions resulted in injuries to 4 people. As a result of the chaos, a police investigation was swiftly carried out, which led to Spencer being stopped half a mile away from the scene. He was picked up for questioning by the LAPD. A couple days later, he was charged with 4 counts of attempted murder. The prosecutors argued during the trial that the shooting was a result of a feud between Spencer and a rival gang member, and that he was a documented gang member himself. His defense attorney argued in court that Spencer fired his weapon as a means to deter rival gang members whom he believed were pursuing him. Unsurprisingly, one of the individuals injured by Spencer's gunshot during the Halloween party was a young man believed to have shot Spencer in the stomach in 2011. During the trial, several people vouched for Spencer's good behavior, including an officer from the Los Angeles Police Department. He also maintained his innocence during the trial.
I'm sorry for what happened, Your Honor, but I came to life in prison, and I'm not a bad person, but I made mistakes. But I'm not just some gangbanger that she tried to portray me as.
As the judge read his sentence, Spencer, who was overwhelmed by emotions, began to cry and even hit his head on the table in frustration.
The minimum period of parole eligibility is 15 years plus 25 years of life in accordance with Penal Code Section 12022.53D. This is to be concurrent with
Reportedly, Brandon was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. In April of 2021, Sierra Halseth was 16 years old when she and her boyfriend Aaron Guerrero, who was 18 years old, made a decision to kill Sierra's father. Her father was 45-year-old David Halseth. On the day before the incident, Sierra ran away from home. Via the aid of Aaron, she purchased a saw, blades, lighter fluid, gloves, and a drop mat. The following day, Sierra and Aaron stabbed Daniel and cut him repeatedly more than 70 times. It was surely brutal, painful, and an incredibly horrific death. They also attempted to burn David's house down after stealing his car and money from him. They were eventually apprehended in Salt Lake City just days later. Sierra claimed that her father had been abusing her in different ways and also tried to force her to drink alcohol despite being well underage. However, the prosecution believed there was more to the story. A video was found that the 2 teens had taken in which they could be heard laughing and cracking jokes about the incident.
I don't know what to say.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. After
Day
murdering, Day 3 after murdering somebody.
Whoa! Don't put that on the camera.
It was worth it.
And no bleeding this time.
Mm-hmm.
We got through that. We overcame.
The fact that they also stole from Daniel would also suggest that greed had been a significant motive. Both Aaron and Sierra pleaded guilty to murder. During the sentencing, Sierra remained stoic and unmoved by the sentencing she received.
On count 1, you're going to be sentenced to 48 to 120 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. On count 2, you're going to be sentenced to life in the Nevada Department of Corrections with the possibility of parole after 20 years has been served, plus a consecutive 24 to 60 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections for the deadly weapon enhancement. Count 2 is ordered to run concurrent to count 1. On count 3, you're going to be sentenced to 72 to 180 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. You have 555 days credit for time served. That is a total aggregate sentence of life in the Nevada Department of Corrections with the possibility of parole after 22 years of good service.
Sierra and Aaron were sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole due to their ages. This teenage convicted killer flew into a rage in a Houston courtroom after a Harris County jury sentenced him to death. In 2006, just days after his 18th birthday, Dexter Johnson made a horrible mistake that landed him in serious problems with the law. He, along with some other teenage friends, carjacked and robbed 2 people. The victims were 23-year-old Maria Afaraisi and 17-year-old Hui Ngo. Prosecutors during his trial alleged Johnson had fun when he and his friends carjacked the couple and drove them around demanding money, credit cards and ATM access. Then they parked near a patch of thick woods and forced Ngo to listen as Johnson raped Aparisi in the back seat. Afterward, Johnson shot Ngo in the side of the head, execution style, before killing Aparisi with a shot to the top of her head. Now in Harris County courtroom, 19-year-old Dexter Johnson faces his punishment for the crime he committed. During the trial, Johnson remained stoic and unmoved by the proceedings. However, he was overwhelmed by his emotions when the final verdict was announced: the death penalty.
In accordance with the laws of the state of Texas, this court hereby sentences your punishment of death. It is therefore the order of this court that you, Dexter Darnell Johnson, be delivered by the Sheriff of Harris County, Texas, to the Director of the Institutional Division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, or any other person legally authorized to receive such convicts.
He began to shed tears as he looked towards his family. He looked confused and unsure of what to do next. He quickly became enraged and he threw a chair across the room. Chaos ensued. Officers quickly responded and the courtroom entered a frenzy.
Be seated, ladies and gentlemen.
The scene was one filled with panic and emotions as Johnson's family begged for mercy. 2 of his relatives collapsed, requiring immediate medical attention.
That's her daughter. Her daughter's. Frankie's mom.
Hey, I'm gonna call an ambulance, ma'am. Do you want an ambulance? Yeah, I need an ambulance. I need an
Michael Swanson was 17 years old at the time of committing the crimes and admitted to killing 2 store workers during his November 15, 2010 robbery spree. Swanson walked into the Crossroads gas station on US Highway 18 in Algona just after 9 p.m. Monday wearing a ski mask and demanded cash and cigarettes from the clerk, 47-year-old Vicky Bowman. Swanson shot her even though she complied with the request. About an hour later, Swanson walked into a come-and-go convenience store in Humboldt, about 30 miles south of Algona, and shot and killed Shea Myers, who died at the scene. During the sentencing, the victim's family members made impassioned victim impact statements about the death of their loved ones. Julianne Bowman, Vicky Bowman's daughter, attacked Swanson during the second hearing and labeled him a coward for killing her mother. Also questioned how he gained power by murdering vulnerable women.
My mom was not only completely 100% innocent, but she was also a defenseless woman. You said you did it for cigarettes and money, and so no one could identify you, but I think that's a lie. You did it, as you later said on, that it was so you could feel powerful. How could killing a defenseless woman and an outright execution be powerful or fair? My mom did nothing to you.
Swanson smiled throughout the hearing and appeared unremorseful. The judge noticed and had some words for him.
Cold-blooded murder, young man. You are dangerous. You are unpredictable. And there is no place for you in an open, law-abiding society.
The judge labeled Swanson evil and sentenced him to life in prison for both killings.
and there is no place for you in an open, law-abiding society. Prison for the rest of your life is the only alternative, and the court intends to follow through.
When Swanson heard his sentence, he only smiled. This 17-year-old teenager was charged with unlawful neglect of a child, involuntary manslaughter, and arson. In March of 2017, Jacob Morgan was left to look after his 14-month-old stepbrother at a Rock Hill mobile home in South Carolina. Morgan, who recently developed a fascination for fires, set 2 small fires in different parts of the house. However, the fires quickly went out of Morgan's control, killing 14-month-old Joshua. The prosecutors argued that Morgan understood and watched the house burn without calling for help, while the defense claimed Morgan attempted to run back inside, but the neighbors stopped him. During the trial, Morgan was in tears while he listened to the charges listed. When he received his sentence, he broke into almost hysterical tears.
So therefore, I am going to find that there is probable cause to charge the individual with the bound over for General Sessions Court for late charges.
He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. That was 18-year-old Fernando Salgado, who was accused of attempted sexual penetration of another student via a foreign object. Fernando Salgado allegedly tried to force a piece of rebar into another student's anus, according to prosecutors. Scared of returning to jail, Fernando begs to go home after hearing his bail is set at $300,000 and he will not get a chance at reducing it for another 2 weeks.
Sentences and a life branded as sex offenders.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Also, ring the notification bell to get informed whenever we post a new video.